We hope we've answered some of the questions you have about what makes Niagara University different than the other colleges you're considering. Should you have any other questions, please reach out to our admissions office at any time or ask them now as we transition to our live question and answer session. Joining us today to respond to your questions are several members from our admissions team, along with representatives from many of our student support services. I'll turn it over to Mike Friedman, our Associate Vice President for Marketing, who has been tracking your questions in the online chat.
Thanks, Trevor, and thanks everyone for joining us today. It is great to see so many people online with us on a Saturday morning. As you've heard several times, we wish that we could be interacting with you in person, but we do appreciate your time and attention today. And now we will get right into your questions. There have been a ton of them in the chat window. I've noticed that we have had some admissions counselors and deans responding to them. But I will go through some of the more prominent ones that we've had so far. And then again, if you have any questions that for some reason we don't answer today, please feel free to reach out to us. The easiest way to do so and the easiest one to remember is probably just emailing admissions@niagara.edu. We are super attentive, if you can't tell by everyone stealing my thunder in the chat window already. And so with all of that being said, we will now hop into the Q&A. And for the first question, I am going to go right back to our president, Father Marr, who is kind enough to still be on with us today, despite an incredibly busy schedule. And so, Father, just a quick question that I had for you. For those of us who have had the pleasure of hearing you speak on campus over the last several years that you've been at Niagara, we often hear you say that the faculty here are among the best in the world. And I'm hoping that you could just take a moment to tell our guests today why that is.
Happy to, Mike. Thank you. I would say that, you know, I spent 23 years at St. John's University in Queens, New York, and I have been, you know, exposed to universities and visited universities around the country and around the world. And there are a lot of great faculty and tremendous attributes. You know, the thing that separates Niagara, in my mind, is the vast majority of our faculty could be at those Research One institutions or those larger institutions, but they choose to be at Niagara, and they prioritize the teaching and the level of engagement with the students. You know, we refer to our faculty as mentors of the mind and heart. And I think that's a really, really good description of them. And that's what really separates the Niagara in my mind, because they do exceptional research, many of our faculty. They're incredibly bright and capable, but they make the commitment to be available to students. You know, one of the things when I was first elected president and arrived in Niagara, I did focus groups with students, as I do pretty regularly, just meeting with students and tell me about your experience. And one of the things that the students said to me was, the faculty know our names. And I think that's really, really striking. And it's a level of personalism, I like to refer to, that we have at Niagara, where the faculty really see it as their mission to help the students to connect to their careers, their areas of study, to research. We have very, very high levels. You know, almost 1 out of 2 students would have the opportunity to do research with a faculty member in their career at Niagara University as an undergraduate. And that's striking to me. And that speaks to not only a disposition of the faculty, but a structure of the university that encourages that level of research. And there's no better way to learn research than to do it with someone, to take the theory and the method, and whether that's in the hard sciences, whether that's in the liberal arts, but really to work one-on-one with a faculty member. And I think that's what's most striking. The last thing I'll just say is that our students, 88% of our students, they identify that their experience of service in and outside the classroom shaped their career choice while they were at Niagara. So career development is at the forefront of what our responsibility is to you as students, to help you really refine your thinking, shape your career, and shape your pathway for life. So great question, and happy to be available to answer it.
Thanks so much, Father. We appreciate it. We also have several of our current students online today, ready and willing to answer the questions that you have. I am going to turn to one of them right now, Kelsey Cullinan, who's an education major. Kelsey, we heard Dr. Foote talk about some of the differentiators that future teachers can get when they come to Niagara University. And one of them is the ability to get right into your major and right into the classroom teaching as early as your freshman year. As an upperclassman now, can you talk about how advantageous that is?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mike. So this question is great because, as Dr. Foote said, this is what sets us apart as a university. So my third week at Niagara, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, I set foot onto Tuscarora Elementary School, which would become one of 6 placements that I've had so far at the university. So I've seen everything from a rural indigenous school to an urban high school in Niagara Falls, from grades 3 through 9. So I now know, as I head into student teaching next year, exactly what grade I want to be at, exactly what demographic of students and location, and what I'm going to need to get there. So we know that each school demographic has different skill sets that teachers need to have to become culturally relevant and to foster social emotional learning in our students. So now that I know that I want to go into an urban middle school, I can spend the next 2 or 3 semesters really honing that craft for those specific students. Because as Father Moore has mentioned, it's really about what can our classroom work do to change the world around us. And so when you know where you want to change the world, you can become better equipped to do that.
She's impressive, isn't she, folks? I'll give due warning to Chris McDermott and admissions and Dr. Butera that they should probably grab their sip of water right now because we're going to keep them very busy during the Q&A section. We will start by turning it over to Chris, who is our Director of First Year Enrollment. Chris, we're getting a lot of questions from students. Lorelei, Maddie, and Nathan are all asking about the process to transfer their college credits into college at Niagara University. Can you talk a little bit about, what are the requirements and what is the process involved with doing that, please?
And welcome everyone. We couldn't be happier that you're here today. In terms of transfer credits, whether you're taking APs, and we usually look at 3, 4s, or 5s, and you'll need to, when you're in your senior year, if Niagara is your final destination, which we hope it is, you would need to get those transcripts to us from the College Board. Same if you're taking your IB exams. We look at 5+ for those. If you're taking college courses, either through your high school, like our New Step program, or you're taking them with another college or university, we're going to need that final official transcript for us to review. We're usually looking at a C or better. And usually, because we do have a very strong liberal arts component to every undergraduate major, and I say usually because the deans can always review differently, but usually I have seen most of these courses transfer in as electives. As long as there's a place on your curriculum card, it will come in. An example would be, we don't require phys ed. So that would be a decision of the deans whether a physical education course would come in. I'm not thinking you're taking that, but I just wanted to give that as an example. Thank you. Other things involved with that, Mike, that they were looking at?
I think you answered a great deal of them for the moment, but we'll certainly be coming back to you. So thanks for the information.
Perfect.
And for the moment, we're going to stick with admissions, and I'm going to ask Ben Asher to answer a question here. When is the admissions deadline at Niagara University, and does the college offer an early decision or early action?
Good question. So as far as early action, early decision, currently the university we do not have early action, early decision. But what we are is we are rolling admissions. So that means you can apply very early in the process. And the way that we work our students' applications is once they come in, we try to turn around a decision as quickly as we can. So while we're not early action or early decision, you will have a decision very early in this process. As far as deadline goes, we are rolling admission, so we work with students, from, day one of their senior year all the way up until the day that classes start here at Niagara. Now, I don't recommend that you apply 5 days before classes start. It's going to be a very quick and long and process, but what we can do is, we kind of adhere and kind of follow the national decision day of May 1, which is where we'd like to hear from our students. However, especially this year, but with every year, we know that there are students that, May 1 comes and they're just not quite ready to say what they're doing or what their plan is, or they just need more information. And so we'll continue to work with those. The main thing I would suggest to all students is, if that is you, you're getting closer to May 1, you just got to let us know. You got to stay in communication with us. If you give me a call and say, hey, Ben, Niagara's top of my list, but I'm not sure I can put my deposit down quite yet. Awesome. I can mark your file accordingly, put an extension on there, and just continue to move forward. So in all honesty, there is no official deadline. Again, May 1 is a good day to have in mind so you can have time to do the things you need to do over the summer to prepare. But yeah.
Thank you, Ben. I wanted to let everyone know that we actually just launched a brand new online resource this morning that we're calling Ask an Eagle. So if you just go to niagara.edu/askAnEagle, you can actually connect with current students that we have on there, and you can click in and view their profiles and send messages to them, and they will respond to any questions that you might have. One of the students that is participating in that program for us is Katie Culkin, and she's a business major at NU. And if you click into her profile, you'll notice that she says that her favorite place on campus is Bisgrove Hall. So I want to ask Katie why she loves Bisgrove Hall so much.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I love Bisgrove. It's not a building that many students will be in if they're not a business or education major, but I really find it to be a hidden gem on campus. There is a little Tim Hortons in there, so don't tell other prospective students. You want to keep that line short. As a business student, I am a concentration in supply chain, but I also have a minor in finance. So that's something that is very special about NU. That Professor Hutton, as Dean Frascator brought up earlier, he worked on Wall Street for many years, and he has organized a fantastic finance program. And we have a laboratory in Bisgrove called the Financial Services Laboratory. And in there are computers with the same trading software that the traders down on the stock exchange use. So that's really awesome that we have an opportunity to have access to that software. There's also a stock ticker that goes through, so I always found that was fun to watch. So definitely check out Bisgrove. There's a lot of different hidden nooks and crannies, I would say, but I think that NU has a lot of different hidden nooks and crannies that is very special.
Thank you so much. For the next question, we will go to Coach Paulus. And Coach Paulus, this one comes in from Mike Friedman in Grand Island. And Mike is wondering if there is any doubt in your mind that the Purple Eagles would have run the table and made it to at least the Final Four had the season been able to continue.
Well, I do appreciate the question there, and that would have been awesome. That would have been an amazing story. But you know what, we were disappointed that we couldn't finish the season. We were able to win one conference game, beating Marist, and we were getting ready to play Ryder. And, we felt like we had a great chance to continue our season. But hopefully moving forward, we can build off of it and continue down the path. We had a lot of positives this year. And going into next year, we're going to try to continue to work hard to build off of it.
Thanks, Coach. It was certainly an exciting season, and we're all looking forward to the upcoming season. And speaking of basketball and success, we will go back to Miss Jessica Kemp. And Jessica, just can you give our student athletes an idea of what the experience is like to, be playing sports and going to college at the same time, and how that helps to prepare you for life after school?
Right, okay. So student athlete, I mean, it's time management, I think, is the biggest thing that, excuse me, we had to learn. We're not just going to class and then going home. We have to manage practice, we have to manage classes, we have to manage the games. Mentally, you have to manage both, because you have your mental state on the court, mental state off the court. I mean, I was also doing my MBA when I was at Niagara, which was so great. So I was able to practice and then head to my MBA class, and I'd be in my hoodie and ice on my knees and the youngest in my class. But I think that's what's so unique about Niagara. I totally felt comfortable doing that. But now into my life now, really time management has been the biggest thing in my career, and being able to manage both being on and off the court, and also being competitive. So the business that I'm in now, I have to remain competitive to be successful. And if I didn't play basketball or wasn't an athlete, I wouldn't have the success I do now. So I think that's the biggest thing. It would be time management and remaining competitive in your life off the court or off the field.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Jessica. Getting back to some admissions questions that we have from students, I will go to Emily Buell. We have one question from Nathan asking if NU uses the Common App for admission, and then a question from Anna Lewin, who is wondering if an interview is required. Emily, can you answer those for us, please?
Guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Common App. Please apply via Common App, or you can apply at niagara.edu. We're available on both. Also, application is free to apply, so please feel free to fill it out. If you are missing anything for your application, we'll be able to tell you that, and you'll also get emails as well. What was the second part of my question, Mike?
You had the Common App and, oh gosh, I erased it.
Deposit?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Deposits, I also saw that just recently asked too. So deposit for, after you're applied and accepted and you decide to come to Niagara, deposit is $200 for any student that is commuting, and then $300 for any student that would be living on campus as well.
Is an interview required, Emily? That was the question.
There
Thanks,
it is.
Ashley.
Interview is not required, but we do encourage you to definitely talk to your admissions counselor, find out any questions, get them answered that you might have. And just keep in contact with us. It's best if we know who you are, so we can also advocate for you if you need anything from us, such as maybe a financial aid appeal, or you're really looking to get into a program, but maybe your scores and requirements are just a little bit lower than we're looking for.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Mike.
Turning it over to Dr. Butera, Taylor Ann is wondering, what is the difference between the BA and the BS programs in psychology?
Sure, that's a really good question. The BS in psychology program is relatively new. I think we implemented that maybe 5 years ago. The main difference between the two is that the Bachelor of Science program will require general biology with lab for a full year. It will require undergraduate research. It will require an additional psychology course with the natural science background to it, and it will require a course in an upper level stats course. So now keep in mind that those courses can also be part of the Bachelor of Arts degree program in psych. So there's nothing that's going to prevent a BA student from doing an upper level stats course, nothing preventing a BA student from taking an upper level major course in natural science. The only difference is that for the Bachelor of Science degree, those specific courses are, you have to take them, they're required courses.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure.
I know that we're certainly early in the process of all of our guests today looking at colleges, but one of the questions that we certainly get quite a bit from students, and especially from parents, are, am I going to get a job, or are my son and daughters going to be able to get a job? And so we'll take this question to Mike Skoronsky in Career Services. And Mike, I'm hoping that you can give our guests some insight on what your office does to get students ready for life after graduation.
Thanks, Mike. That's a great question. Right now, things are quite challenging, but the Office of Career Services, we pivot very quickly. For instance, since we've encountered the pandemic, we've already had 90 individual appointments in our office, 56 practice interviews with 8 different employers, 4 different career workshops, 2 alumni panels, 5 virtual information sessions. Upcoming, we have a food industries panel response to COVID-19, and that's going to be with some of our top employers like Clorox, Rich Products, Wegmans, Rosina Foods, and they're going to talk about not only from a marketing standpoint, production standpoint, delivery standpoint. These are the kinds of interactions that we have with our employers all the time. In addition to that, we're also putting together a virtual job fair, which we're going to hold in May. And we're working with another company, Parker Dewey, to do micro internships, especially during this time where employers might not want to have people on their in their buildings and on campuses. So we're just responding the best we can, making sure that there's available opportunities. In addition to some of the things that we do every day. Our Pathways program, which is a holistic approach to career development for students. It helps them build confidence through internships and resume writing and preparation, mock interviews, all those kinds of things. And also we work closely with other offices so students can have unique opportunities to connect with different employers, with different alum, again, helping them getting these unique skills to their postgraduate goals, and again, allowing them a clarity of direction. In addition to that, we're hoping that Pathways will help leverage resources from alumni connections to help prepare students to develop their professional competencies. Again, a heightened sense of purpose. It's certainly a theme that it resonates through Niagara and what we're trying to do to really help students gain all those experiences. And it's kind of funny, oftentimes, and Father had mentioned, the amount of work that we do in the community. Oftentimes, those kinds of opportunities, and I say it's finding your career through happenstance, right? So those opportunities oftentimes result in a passion being resurrected within you that really allows yourself to kind of have a discernment of what you really want to do. But we do all the tactical things that certainly help students gain those things that they need to really start thinking about what they want to do in the future. I have 5 kids, 3 in college, 1 at Niagara. And I tell you, we use this word, transformational. I will tell you, my daughter, it was a transformational experience for her. She came into Niagara with I say this is a blank piece of paper. This was her resume. At the end of her junior year, I will tell you, I don't have a resume in front of me, but that page is full of experiences, opportunities, internships, clubs, organizations, involvement. Those are the kinds of things that are really going to differentiate you as you move forward and try to figure out what you want to do. And we're constantly engaged in that process, and we're happy to help at any turn.
Thanks so much, Mike. Our Career Services office at Niagara University is one of the best you'll find anywhere. We are constantly talking about the fact that 97% of our graduates are employed or enrolled within graduate school within 6 months. Very impressive numbers. One of the main reasons is because we offer so many experiential learning opportunities. And one of them, or many of them, I should say, are part of our sport management program. So I'm going to ask Trevor Howell if he can answer a question from Nathan, who is wondering what types of classes and opportunities are available to students in sport management. Trevor?
Well, hello again, everyone. That's a really, really good question. So sport management, there is a ton of different opportunities, and it's a very broad program. I'll start with my favorite thing was probably getting the opportunity to work all the Division I sporting events on campus. It's actually part of your intro to sport class that you have to go and you have to work these different events. It gets you hands-on experience with everything from the scoreboard, working sideline, working on the cameras and everything like that. You kind of learn every in and out. So when you go into your future, looking into what do you actually want to do with sport, this kind of helps you see everything, get an understanding of what you could really be looking into doing. I also absolutely love the ESPN class that we have on campus. That's where you kind of learn the behind the scenes work. You learn how to work the cameras. You learn how to do replay and stuff like that. You actually will be filming our games for ESPN. So you will be working the cameras, you'll be working the booth, you'll be working everything for these ESPN events that will be nationally televised. So I think that's just a really unique, really cool experience. It's something that's held to Niagara. And then there's so many different study abroad, different opportunities, different ways to get out there. I know sports students go to London and they tour different stadiums. We also get the opportunity to work with, we've done the Final Four, we've been at the Super Bowl a few times in the past few years. There's a lot of really cool, unique experiences with Niagara University's sport management program to really kind of dive into what you want to do. And it is such a broad field of different things and different opportunities. Niagara really finds a way to get you to see every angle of it. And going through it, I've had such an amazing experience. It's really helped to guide me in the right direction. And there's so many different opportunities. So when you get there, ask and we'll find out what makes you happy.
Thanks, Trevor. And speaking of so many things to do, we will head over to Bill Newton in campus activities. Bill, have you ever heard Niagara University say that there's nothing to do here?
Mike, you're right in my wheelhouse. Hello, everybody. No, that is pretty much one of the main reasons why I am at Niagara, is to help you as our students always have something to do. So I like to think that we do a great job within campus activities and in support of other offices on campus as well that help us do that. So how can you get involved and to make sure that there's nothing to do? There are countless ways, but some that immediately come to my mind are the nearly 100 student clubs, organizations, club sports, honor societies that you can get involved in right from the get-go of your freshman year at Niagara. So there are opportunities to go to club fairs where you can meet upperclassmen students who are in leadership positions of those clubs, kind of talk with them, figure out what might be the best fit for you. Also, right from the get-go, you can attend interest meetings. We at Niagara want you to get that full student experience. So we've heard today all about the academic experience that you're going to get, which is first class, top notch with all of our faculty. And in student affairs, we are here to support that and to help make you the well-rounded person that you want to be. So whether that's getting leadership experience by being a club officer, just enjoying the social experiences that Niagara University can provide. So whether that's clubs, whether that's attending games, as Trevor was talking about, he was talking about work on the work side of it, but just getting caught up in that purple pride that we have in Niagara. And what better way to do that than by supporting our Purple Eagles and by making friends and getting involved in student life.
Absolutely, Bill. Thank you. You guys would be amazed at how many events Bill and his team still have going on for students, despite the situation that we're in right now in practicing social distancing measures. For our next question, which comes from Anna Lewin again, Dr. Barnwell. Anna Lewin is wondering what the requirements are for the honors program.
Good question. So there's sort of two aspects to the honors program. So our program, it's a curricular program. So I know you're probably in a lot of honor societies at your school where they get you together, they say you're great, they give you punch and cookies. But ours is a curricular program to sort of really prepare you to stick out from your other peers once you graduate. So the first part is when you come in, some of the general education courses that you'll take anyway, your philosophy, religion, history, 4 of those courses you'll take just with other honor students. So they're smaller, they're taught differently. I like to think of them as sort of our true Ivy League courses. We really want to challenge our students. We don't make them harder for the sake of making them harder. We make them different for the sake of getting you to get the most out of yourself, to get the most out of the classes that you can get. So 4 of those classes you would be taking anyway. And then your senior year, and this is the real great part of the program, your senior year, you're working one-on-one with a faculty member doing your own original research. My greatest example, we had a student a few years ago, they wanted to sample water off of Lake Erie with the algae growth. She actually built, with her advisor, her own water sampler, and they went out on a boat on Lake Erie and put the water sampler, I've got a picture of it, it's a big machine they built themselves, dropped it into Lake Erie to sample the water at the right depth, and then analyzed it. She was doing original research. All of our honor students do original research their senior year, and they get to work individually with a professor the whole year. So just a chance to work one-on-one with a professor with a PhD, do your own research. And basically when you're done, you've written a mini master's level thesis. So this is why I always like to say to students considering the honors program, how are you going to be different from everybody else 4 years from now? Right now you're different from everybody else because you make good grades. But grades, no one's asked me about my grades in 20 years now. Right? What makes you different once you get out in the real world is what you can do and what you have done. And our honor students have done something that nobody else that will be graduating across the country will have done. They've actually done original research in the field. So that's the true requirements of the honors program, writing that honors thesis your senior year and taking your general education courses, 4 of them with other honor students, which is a good experience.
Thanks, Dr. Barnwell. And just so you guys know, every spring we have an honors symposium that allows students to present the incredible research work that they're doing. And I always joke that it also allows them to just showcase exactly how much smarter they are than me. But it's a really neat event, and it's really a great way to kind of capstone the great work that our students are doing with faculty members through the honors program. So thank you for that, Dr. Barnwell. Our next question, I will turn to Ashley Fox in Met's Culinary Services. Ashley, students and parents obviously want to know what the dining situation is going to be like in college. So I'm hoping that you can give us an idea of what the options are, the many options that we do have at NU. And then one student is asking, if a meal plan is purchased, how many meals a week does that cover? And do I have to be in campus while classes are, if I'm not on campus while classes are not in session, what happens to the meal plan?
Thank you, Mike. So my name's Ashley, as Mike said, and I would like to talk to you guys about the meal plans. When you do live on campus, there are 2 options that you can choose from. So there's an unlimited plan, so you get unlimited amount of swipes into the dining facility. So that's an all-you-can-eat buffet. So there's pizza, grill, main plate, a deli, salad bar, yogurt bar. There's endless options, and that will give you an idea of where you can kind of figure out your schedule when you first get on campus and you don't know when you're going to have time to eat or how many times you're going to want to eat a day or what works best for you. So that's kind of where that's the better option that you're automatically put on your first semester on campus. There's also a certain amount of guest swipes that you get. So if you have the unlimited plan, you get 8 guest swipes per semester. So if your parents come to visit you or you have a friend from high school that wants to come and visit you, they can also eat in our dining facility. And then we do have a certain amount of dollars for Gallagher Gold. So Gallagher is where a lot of the commuters hang out, where a lot of, there's NUSCA office, campus activities offices, many offices that you're probably going to be visiting while you're on campus. So that's kind of our central location. That's more of a made to order station. So there's Subway, Tim Hortons, a grill, a store where you can buy necessities if you need anything, if you can't get off campus. And then Poblano, so there's like a Mexican place. So that's where you're going to use Gallagher Gold. There's another meal plan where you live on campus, which is called the Purple Meal Plan. And that will give you 12 swipes per week per semester, and then 6 guest meal swipes and a little bit more Gallagher Gold. They are the same price, but it just variations in the swipes, Gallagher Gold and guest swipes. And then if you're going to be a commuter, we do have 2 commuter options, depending on how often you're going to be on campus. And that will give you usually more Gallagher Gold and then a certain amount of swipes as well into the dining facility. If you have any dietary restrictions, we're always willing to accommodate anything. We have a gluten-free, vegan, vegetarian station. we now have an app where you can put in your allergy, and the foods that you're safe to eat will come up on the app. It's called Nutritics. We'll go over that in when you are in the dining hall, or you can always email me and I can explain it and how you'd be able to see if you're allergic to eggs or milk or anything like that. And we're always willing to work with you. If it's not on the app, then we can we can email our corporate office and they will be able to put it into the app as soon as possible. What was the other question? Was there another question?
I think you covered it, Ashley.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We've seen quite a few questions in the chat window about when campus tours might be opening up, or how people can get a sense of what the buildings look like, both inside and out. So I just wanted to let you know that, trust me, we are very excited to be able to get back to campus and to be able to offer you guys a walk around it. It is second to none in terms of beauty. But in the meantime, we do have some really good online resources for you. If you go to niagara.edu/virtual-table-talk, that's the other one, virtual-tour, virtual-campus-tour. Wow, that took a while to get out. We have some nicely polished videos like you'll see from other schools, but again, in efforts to differentiate Niagara from other institutions, we've also published a series of student videos that they shot on their cell phones, where they just take you around to all of the hot spots on campus. There are about 20 different videos, students talking about campus from their very own perspective, and we invite you to take advantage of that. We are also, as early as the first week in May, are going to have some of our students join in with our daily virtual visits and offer you the best way they can do a virtual campus tour right now. So, if you want more information about Niagara, please sign up for one of those daily visits, and we'll give you all the details you need, as well as kind of an online walk around campus. We're going to take just a few more questions today. I want to be sensitive to everyone's time. We will have the chat log available to us after this, so whichever questions we haven't responded to today, as long as we have your contact information, we will respond to them afterwards. We'll get emails out to you, so you don't have to worry about that. For our next question, I'm going to go back to Cheyenne Freely. And just ask her about her involvement in clubs and activities while she was at NU. Cheyenne, I know you were involved with student government and obviously the pre-law program. So I'm hoping that you can just tell our guests how that kind of shaped your experience and where you've gone after Niagara.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So to preface, I was very involved in high school. I did 3 seasons worth of sports. I was in a ton of clubs. And when I came to Niagara, I had this plan in my head that I wasn't really going to do much and I was going to focus on my academics. That plan was quickly derailed, and thankfully it was, because it was a terrible plan. I just remember coming to the club fair, the first one in the fall, my freshman year, and my eyes were just like bulging with how many opportunities there really were for me to get involved. So from there, my involvement spanned, Pre-Law Association, which is amazing. It's run by Kevin Hinckley, who's the director of the pre-law program. He was just amazing, and he's still a resource for me to this day. I still reach out to him. Student government, if anyone is even remotely interested in student government, our student government at Niagara is so amazing, and you're really building relationships and skills that you are going to have for the rest of your life. I would not have the public speaking skills that I have, the negotiation skills, if you want to put it like that, and other associated skills without the fact that I had involvement in student government all 4 years. Additionally, we have something that I was involved in was mock trial and moot court. Moot court is basically, both are opportunities for you to kind of play out an in-court scenario, but moot court is required for some of the law classes, and it's amazing experience to get that a lot of people coming into law school did not have. Recently, I just competed to be on the moot court team for Georgetown, and I was one of the final 4, and it was really just all because I had that experience at Niagara, from all of the actual scenarios where it was a mock trial moot court and all of the other extracurricular opportunities I had to get involved and really expound on those skills.
Thanks so much, Cheyenne. I'm going to ask our next question to Kim Fenton in Residence Life. And Kim, can you please give students and families an idea of what the on-campus living options are at Niagara?
Sure, absolutely. And thanks everybody. I'm really happy to have everybody here. So we have 7 different residence halls on campus. There are apartments that our seniors and juniors like to go for. We have living learning communities and these little houses throughout campus called Varsity Village, which are a really wonderful opportunity to interact with your faculty members as well. And then we have 5 just residence hall style buildings. They each kind of have their own personality, their own kind of style. We have some that are some of the historic, buildings to our campus, and they're beautiful. They have so much character. Then we have our tower buildings, which is where our freshman students are going to live. So Seton Hall and O'Shea Hall. And it's corridor style. There's doubles, there's triples in those buildings as well for students who are interested. And I think the biggest thing about those pieces and living on campus for somebody, I recommend to everybody to live on campus if it's at all possible within their means, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You never get to do this any other time in your life, to be able to live with people who are interested in the same things as you, more importantly, people who are interested in different things than you for you to learn from. I think is really, really a special opportunity, just to be able to meet people and to do all those different things and have everybody right there in one space for 4 years. And you make the best friends that you could ever make, and for a lot of us. And it's really the residence halls are really the center of the whole kind of student experience of living on campus. And I highly recommend that students live on campus as well when they're in college.
Thank you, Kim. We're getting a lot of questions today about opportunities for students to stay in shape and play sports. So I'll direct that question to Derek Puff, who oversees the Kiernan Recreation Center. Derek, can you talk about what some of these opportunities are for students to continue their athletic careers?
Had to unmute there. Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Here at the Kiernan Recreation Center, we offer all sorts of opportunities. So currently we have 18 active club sports, everything from men's and women's basketball, field hockey, men's and women's rugby. We are excited. We are going to be offering 2 club hockey teams in the fall semester. I did see that there were several questions about that. So I did want to touch on it specifically, that currently our current team that is in place right now and has been for the past 25 years, they compete at the Division I level of the ACHA, which is the highest level of collegiate club hockey. And then going into next year, we are going to have a second team that will compete in the upstate New York Collegiate Club Hockey League, which will compete more local teams. But it gives an opportunity for almost 60 hockey players to compete at the club hockey level here. On top of our club sports, we have 2 fitness centers, a weight room, 4 basketball courts, a racquetball court, swimming pool, and a number of athletic fields. So we have everything you need or could want to keep in touch with your fitness routine. We offer a number of group exercise programs. Kim Fenton actually used to be one of our yoga instructors. We might have to bring her out of retirement. But we offer anything that we can think of. And we really try to keep in touch with the students and provide programs for those students that they're interested in. So some examples, we offer Zumba classes, TRX, spinning, yoga, a different number of activities. But on top of that, we have a robust intramural sports program. The difference between intramural and club sports, at the club sport level, you're competing on organized teams with coaches and going out and competing against other schools. You practice 2 or 3 times a week. Games are typically on the weekends. Then with intramurals, it's more of a relaxed environment. You would form teams with groups of your friends and compete against other teams of Niagara University students. So it doesn't have the commitment. Some teams do practice. Some of our intramural teams will come out with coaches with headsets, which is always interesting, but it's more of a laid back environment. You compete in leagues organized by us. We offer championships and prizes at the end, in addition to a number of tournaments like poker tournaments and various other ones throughout the year.
Thanks, Derek. A ton of great opportunities available through Kiernan, especially through club sports and recreation. We heard a couple of our deans earlier get into the great study abroad opportunities that are available at the university. But I would like to turn to Dr. Deb Curtis to delve into that a little bit more. And Dr. Curtis, can you talk to our students and parents about how many options and what those options are to study outside of the United States, please?
Absolutely. There are so many different options. Their variety is based on duration, the locations, the content. So really anything that a student's interested in. And just to give you a few examples, we have study abroad options that last 2 weeks and go to English-speaking countries like Professor Frescatore had mentioned, going to perhaps London as a capstone to an academic course where you go with faculty member. And you could go to the other side and go a little bit more adventurous and go for a year and study in Vietnam. And there's many options in between. We have a unique program that we partner with St. John's University called Discover the Western World. And that's really fabulous, where students go for 5 weeks to Rome, 5 weeks to Paris, and 5 weeks to Limerick. We have opportunities to work abroad, and they're in both Peru, Lake Como. We're developing TEFL work abroad, so for students that are interested in education, and even those that are just looking for more of an adventure, you can take a 3-course series, do some work in our ESL center, and become certified to teach English as a foreign language, and then go work abroad for a semester while earning credit. So the opportunities are literally all over the world. And what else is amazing about Niagara, it's not just the outbound where you as students from the United States studying can take part in, but it's also that we host students from 47 different countries that come to Niagara. So it really shares diversity, and you learn while you're on campus about different cultures and the global economy. And you also learn while doing some hands-on projects abroad. And some of those also include campus ministry. So it covers each of the colleges and literally covers the globe.
Thanks, Dr. Curtis. For our last question that we will answer in the live Q&A today, I am going to go to Virginia Passeri in our Academic Success Center. We know that there may be some classes that you may struggle in from time to time, and we are really proud of the way that we support students who may need a little bit of assistance. So Ginny, can you talk about the numerous ways that Niagara University really goes above and beyond to help students?
Sure. We offer tutoring for most of our 100 level courses. So if you are taking a math class and math really isn't your deal and you need to come in, we have group sessions where you can meet small group weekly. If you're just maybe concerned about, you just don't understand one topic, we have drop-in tutorings. If you don't need tutoring all the time, you can just pop in, just get some help on certain questions. We also offer writing center. If you need help on a paper, we can sign up online, get you a half-an-hour appointment. And that paper that can be used for all 4 years that you're there. You can turn a paper from a B to an A. If you're not sure where to start, we can help you get started with the topic, tell you if it makes sense. We can help with citations, anything that you need. We can help with specific courses. And then if you're just not sure how to study, or I'm not sure how to manage my time, or I just need to get organized, you can certainly set up an appointment to meet with one of our progress conferencing advisors, and we can talk about, you know, just getting life together. College is a lot different than high school, so sometimes the transition takes just a little bit to get used to. So certainly come to the Academic Success Center. We can always help, and we can always point you in the direction of somebody who might be a better fit if it's not us. But please do ask. Someone at Niagara is always there.
Thank you, everybody. That was a lot of questions and definitely a lot of helpful information. I hope you all found that to be beneficial. Since we're sure you'll have additional questions, we invite you to check out a series of videos that we're calling Virtual Table Talk. You can view these videos at niagara.edu/table talk. And again, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to the admissions office if you have any questions about anything. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Please stay healthy and safe, and we hope to see you at Niagara University soon. Take care, everybody.